Is the world ready to witness the next evolution of air combat technology? Ready or not, the United States has unveiled something legendary, the all-new A-10 Warthog. This air fighter has undergone a truly remarkable transformation into becoming faster, deadlier, and more fearsome than ever before. This aircraft is not only equipped with state-of-the-art enhancements that makes it a force to be reckoned with in today's high-threat environments, but is also armed with advanced weapons and upgraded defenses. The supersonic Warthog is ready to dominate the skies. What changes have been made to this supersonic fighter? Can it handle modern-day threats? Join us, we unveil the all-new supersonic A-10 Warthog that the world is afraid of. The A-10 Thunderbolt II, also known as the Beard Stick, is a very powerful aircraft that is used by the military. This technological marvel is powered by two engines and can only be piloted by one person. Due to the evolving warfare strategies, this air fighter is specifically designed to provide close air support and attack enemy targets on the ground, such as armored vehicles, troops in fortified positions. This air fighter was developed between 1975 and 1998. Despite its recent entry into service, it had been deployed to places like Iraq and Afghanistan during conflicts. During Operation Desert Storm in 1991, the A-10s proved their effectiveness. They destroyed 900 tanks, 1,200 artillery systems, and 2,000 other pieces of equipment. Impressively, despite these intense missions, only 7 of this formidable fighter jet were lost for every 1,350 flights. In some cases, pilots managed to land damaged A-10s safely even with serious mechanical problems, like a failed hydraulic system and missing parts of the wing and tail. This is proof of how extremely tough the A-10 is. This air fighter can survive hits from large projectiles up to 23 millimeter in size. And as earlier mentioned, it has backup systems to keep flying even if the main hydraulic controls fail. When the hydraulics are lost, the pilot can switch to a manual control system. This allows basic control of the plane, though it requires more effort than usual. One extremely intriguing fact about the technological marvel is that it is designed to keep flying even with significant damage. It can operate with just one engine, part of its tail, one elevator, and even half of a wing missing. Since it flies close to enemy areas, it's a prime target for missiles and enemy planes. To defend against these threats, it carries flares and chaff cartridges to confuse heat-seeking missiles and radar-guided threats. The cockpit and important flight control systems of the aircraft are shielded by heavy titanium armor, often called a bathtub. This armor is incredibly strong, also designed to withstand indirect hits from larger 57 millimeter shell fragments. The armor consists of titanium plates that vary in thickness from half an inch to over 1.5 inches, strategically placed based on likely attack angles. This armor makes up almost 6% of the fighter jet's weight when it's empty. Additionally, any exposed surfaces inside the cockpit are covered with a protective nylon shield to prevent shell fragments from injuring the pilot. The front windshield and canopy are also resistant to small arms fire. This durability was demonstrated during the 2003 invasion of Iraq when Captain Kim Campbell's A-10 sustained heavy damage from enemy fire, including one damaged engine and a crippled hydraulic system. Despite these challenges, Campbell successfully flew the aircraft for nearly an hour using manual controls and landed safely. Unlike other fighter jets, the A-10 was designed to operate from air bases that may not have fully prepared runways, where there's a higher risk of debris damaging the engines. To keep the aircraft from getting damaged, the engines are placed in a way that helps it reduce this risk and allows them to keep running while the aircraft is being serviced and rearmed on the ground, which speeds up the process. Also, its wings are mounted closer to the ground, which makes the process of maintenance and rearming easier. The heavy engines are securely supported by the airframe with 4 bolts. These engines have a high bypass ratio, which means they produce less heat, making it harder for heat-seeking missiles to detect the aircraft. To protect the fuel system, all 4 fuel tanks are located near the center of the aircraft and are separated from the main body. This setup requires any projectiles to penetrate the aircraft's outer skin before reaching a fuel tank. If there's damage, the fuel transfer lines can seal themselves, and check valves prevent fuel from flowing into a compromised tank. Most fuel system components are inside the tanks, reducing the risk of fuel loss if a component fails. For extra fortification, the fuel tanks are lined with special foam that would help to trap debris and prevent fuel spillage if the tanks are damaged. Also, the engines are shielded from the rest of the aircraft by firewalls and equipped with fire extinguishing systems. Even if the main fuel tanks are lost, the A-10 has backup tanks that can provide enough fuel for an additional 230 miles of flight. If you are wondering how the A-10 has only been damaged a number of times since it became operational, here is why. The aircraft camouflage is used to make the air fighter harder to spot as it flies low and relatively slow. Different paint schemes have been tried for this purpose. These include schemes like a mix of sand, yellow, and field drab, also known as the peanut scheme, black and white colors for snowy conditions, and a blend of tan, green, and brown. During the Cold War, the most commonly used camouflage was the European woodland pattern, with dark green, medium green, and dark gray colors to blend in with European forests. This was because the threat from enemy fighter planes was greater than from ground-based weapons. After the Gulf War in 1991, the need of this aircraft shifted to protecting against ground-based threats like anti-aircraft fire. This need led to the creation of the Compass Ghost scheme, which featured darker gray on top and lighter gray underneath the aircraft. However, some Warthogs have a false canopy painted on the underside of the aircraft, just behind the gun. This is meant to confuse enemies about the aircraft's orientation and maneuver direction. Additionally, many of these aircraft have distinctive and unique nose art, such as shark mouths or warthog head designs, adding character to the aircraft. Aside from protecting against ground-based threats, to defend itself, this aircraft is equipped with a powerful 7-barrel 30mm GAU-8/A cannon that can fire 3,900 rounds per minute. It can also carry a variety of missiles, bombs, and other weaponry on 11 suspension points. This makes it heavily armed and well protected from ground threats due to its titanium armor, which ranges from 13 to 38 millimeter thick. In comparison, the Russian Su-25 attack aircraft has armor thickness ranging from 10 to 24 millimeter. However, the main issue is that the A-10 is considered outdated, and modern air defense systems can easily detect it. It is very true that in conflicts with limited opposition, like those in Iraq and Afghanistan, the aircraft performed exceptionally well, but coming against stronger adversaries. As warfare strategies have evolved, this aircraft is no longer effective. The United States Air Force has been attempting to phase out the A-10 Warthog for a considerable time since the end of the 1991 Gulf War. They argued that it's no longer able to withstand an advanced air defense system. Despite this, the aircraft's influential support in Congress, along with backing from Army veterans and the public, has prolonged its operational lifespan beyond initial expectations. For instance, one former Marine expressed strong support for the aircraft, describing it as a symbol of rescue. He emphasized that hearing the cannon sound of this specific airfighter has always offered a sense of security, expressing hope that the aircraft would remain in service for another 30 to 40 years unless an efficient replacement emerged, which he expressed his doubts over. However, American generals had great optimism for the F-35, the Lockheed Martin F-35. Lightning II is a series of American combat aircraft designed for various missions, including air superiority, strike missions, electronic warfare, and intelligence gathering. This aircraft comes in three main types: the F-35A for conventional takeoff and landing, the F-35B for short takeoff and vertical landing, and the F-35C for carrier-based operations. Lockheed Martin leads the F-35C program, collaborating with Northrop Grumman and BAE Systems as key partners. Due to its advanced features and cutting-edge designs, it was seen as a versatile replacement for both the F-16 and the A-10. Also, the Pentagon believed that consolidating two aircraft into one would streamline maintenance, reduce costs, and modernize the aging A-10 with a new platform. However, the replacement must be proficient in fulfilling missions as effectively as the Warthog can, demonstrating superior capabilities in engaging targets on the ground and preserving friendly forces. In the chaos of battle, the battlefield can swiftly transition from one side to another, emphasizing the critical need for precise and effective combat aircraft. In 2018, there was a competition that was aimed at comparing the capabilities of the F-35 to the A-10 to see if the F-35 was good enough and could fulfill the A-10's role. The evaluation took place in a relatively safe air defense setting, with light anti-aircraft guns and possible manpads missiles as the highest threat. The tests excluded scenarios with modern air defenses and enemy fighters, as the Warthog was deemed unsuitable for such conditions. According to the report, the F-35 was found to be the only aircraft capable of operating effectively in these challenging conditions. The outcome of this competition was not immediately revealed to the curious public and even remained classified for 5 years, which may seem like a long time to produce a detailed 48-page report. However, the delay was justified because it revealed that, surprisingly, the F-35 performed not as good as the A-10 in the crucial role of providing direct air support attacking enemy ground forces to assist friendly troops. The F-35 faces challenges when engaging in such missions, where enemy retaliation, like Stinger missiles, poses significant threats. Unlike the A-10, the F-35 lacks a powerful cannon capable of swiftly neutralizing armored targets. Furthermore, in terms of expense, the high operational cost of the F-35, which is around $44,000 per flight hour, compared to the $19,000 to $20,000 for the A-10, was a factor considered by the Senate and Congress. Despite the Pentagon's reluctance to retire the Warthog in favor of the Lightning II, practical reasoning prevailed, leading to the decision to preserve and modernize this iconic aircraft. To modernize the Warthog extensively, including replacing its wings, the United States Army is currently operating 281 A-10 aircraft with an average age of 41 years. Over time, the wings have endured significant wear and tear. Like humans, metal also accumulates fatigue from use, leading to cracks and other issues. After taking note of this very problem, the United States Air Force has contracted Boeing to manufacture new wings for all 281 Warthog aircraft. This contract ensures that the entire fleet will receive new wings, enabling them to remain operational until the mid-2030s. The new wings, which are designed to last an additional 10,000 flight hours, are being installed by A-10 maintenance experts at Ogden Air Logistics Complex in Utah and Osan Air Base in South Korea. However, the wing replacement is not the only enhancement. A significant upgrade includes equipping the aircraft with new GBU-39 bombs. As reported by Combat Aircraft, the aircraft now has the ability to carry up to 18 of these munitions, potentially enabling it to strike 18 different targets in a single combat mission. The GBU-39 is an American-guided, precision-guided aerial bomb that weighs only 130 kilograms. Combined with its small size, this allows the aircraft to take many more bombs than before. At the same time, thanks to its high accuracy, the munition can effectively hit different targets despite the relatively low explosive mass of 93 kilograms. The small-diameter bomb system uses a smart carriage that can carry 4 250-pound guided air-to-surface bombs. It's designed to destroy important fixed or stationary targets from Air Force aircraft, whether carried internally or externally. ASDB increases the number of weapons aircraft can carry, reduces logistical needs, minimizes unintended damage, and speeds up aircraft mission preparation. This bomb is a game-changing tool for military personnel, allowing up to 4 smart bombs to be carried in one location. It can engage targets from a distance of over 40 nautical miles and is capable of targeting and striking single or multiple objectives. Before release, the weapon's coordinates are programmed either on the ground or in flight, and once launched, it navigates autonomously using GPSs to reach its target accurately. The GBU-39 main advantage, besides accuracy, is its low visibility, making it challenging for anti-aircraft missiles to detect and intercept these bombs during a large-scale attack. Other U.S. Air Force aircraft, like the F-15 Strike Eagle, have been trained to use these bombs as well. Further upgrades to the A-10 will include enhancements to the Scorpion helmet-mounted system, improving the speed and effectiveness of ground target identification. Additionally, the upgrades may involve improvements to communication systems. The attack aircraft is likely to integrate a new Link 16 system to share real-time information with other units, enhancing overall situational awareness. To enhance survival, the cockpit was suggested to have a single large display instead of multiple smaller ones, making it easier to manage the aircraft's complex systems. However, this upgrade does not address the aircraft's ability to operate effectively in areas with advanced air defenses, which is a significant issue highlighted by the ongoing conflict between Russia and Ukraine. Ukraine's strong air defense system has posed significant challenges for Russian aviation, leading to the destruction of multiple Russian aircraft in surprise attacks. For instance, in December 2023, Ukrainian forces deployed the American Patriot system to the front lines and swiftly shot down 3 Russian Su-34 bomber fighters attacking Ukrainian army positions from distances of 40 to 50 kilometers. Because of this, Russian aviation avoids entering the area protected by Ukrainian air defenses and instead attacks from a distance using missiles and guided bombs against Ukrainian troops. However, this approach doesn't address the tasks typically carried out by attack aircraft. As a result, we hear less about the actions of Russian Su-25 attack aircraft. This absence of air cover directly over battlefields affects not only the Russians and Ukrainians, but also potential American forces if they were to engage with Russia or China. It's currently unclear how this issue will be resolved, as helicopters and drones are unable to fully substitute for attack aircraft. Because the F-35 did not perform as well as the Warthog doesn't make it less of a fighter jet. Stealth is a critical part of how the F-35 is designed to operate invisible to radar. This is achieved by carefully shaping the aircraft's body and using special radar-absorbent materials. They also take visible measures like smoothing out edges, curving surfaces continuously, using serrated panels, and hiding the engine's face and turbine. Its unique air intake design, called the diverterless supersonic inlet, uses a bump and forward-swept cowl to manage airflow without needing a traditional splitter or bleed system, further reducing its radar signature. The airfighter's radar cross-section is incredibly low, even lower than a metal golf ball under certain conditions. It's sometimes compared favorably to the F-22 in terms of stealth. For maintenance, they learned from earlier stealth planes like the F-22. The F-35's special radar-absorbent fiber mat skin is tough and needs less upkeep than older coatings. The plane also has minimized infrared and visual signatures, and its radio frequency emissions are controlled to avoid detection. The aircraft's stealth design mainly targets high-frequency X-band radars. Low-frequency radars can sometimes spot stealth planes due to scattering effects, but they're not very precise and can be cluttered, making them less reliable. The F-35 can even mount special reflectors to disguise its radar profile if needed. If the Warthogs alongside the F-35 appeared over Gaza, it could have a positive impact because the Palestinian militants don't have a significant air defense capabilities, so the A-10 could target them without causing widespread destruction, unlike Israeli F-16s and F-35 that often cause extensive civilian casualties when targeting neighborhoods. However, there are reasons why the Warthog has not been deployed to Gaza, and this is likely due to the United States' reluctance to get involved in the Arab-Israeli conflict. Israel also doesn't operate these aircraft or have pilots trained to fly them. Concerning the Russian-Ukrainian conflict, using the A-10 is quite debatable because aside from equally being at the forefront of technological advancement like the United States, Russia has formidable air defense systems like the S-300, S-400, Buk, and Panzer. This makes it extremely risky for an A-10 to approach the front lines. However, using GBU-39 guided bombs from a distance of 60 to 100 kilometers could be feasible. The strategy would involve stealthily approaching the attack line, ascending rapidly to 5 to 8 kilometers, dropping the bombs, and then returning safely to base. The A-10 Warthog still has a very important role to play for the United States. That being said, it's not time to retire the aircraft. The upgrade that the Warthog has undergone already made it perfect and efficient enough to come against modern-day warfare. As it is, the A-10 would not be retired anytime soon, as it has been fortified to serve the United States Air Force until a perfect replacement is developed. Thanks for watching. While you are still here, click on the link on your screen to check out another of our videos. See you there.